Welcome to the Nest Podcast, your weekly home for sports news, video game reviews, and hot takes with your hosts, Brandon, Zach, and Justin. Enjoy the show.
What is up, guys? Welcome to a special episode of the Nest Podcast. I'm Brandon, and I'm joined by my co-host, Justin. And joining us from the Elizabethton Cyclones this week, we've got Parker Hughes and Braden Holly. What's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing awesome, man. Thanks so much for being here. We're super stoked to have you. You guys are the wide receivers, the senior wide receivers of the team. And last week we had your quarterback on. So we decided to go and find his primary weapons and talk to you guys. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourselves and kind of what your role is on this football team.
I'll go ahead. I'm a wide receiver, outside wide receiver, play usually on the sideline. I also play safety and a little bit of outside linebacker. And, my role is really just catch whatever Bryson throws to me or whoever's throwing, usually Bryson. But as a defense side, usually just, tackles and defend the ball. I got the deep ball, and then when I'm playing outside linebacker, I got a lot of run play and flats.
I'm Braden. I play the outside receiver on the other side of the field, on the far side, and the same thing as Parker. Like my thing is just to catch the ball, whatever is thrown to me, make sure I get it. And defensive wise, I play corner, so just don't let anything get outside and cover everything that's in my area.
That's what's different from you guys. We talked to Deuce and a few of the other guys on the team, and you guys go both ways. How difficult is it to go both ways and then be expected to run down the field and catch the ball on offense right after you made a defensive stop?
It definitely gets tough. Definitely whenever it's like the first season, it's like 86, and you're like your legs are cramping up, and just like you're getting cramps, and then you're on kickoff or punt or something like that. So like I don't know, it gets tough. Coach Witt and our coaching staff really put us through a lot of conditioning workouts this summer and last summer. So usually we're prepared. The cramps really get to you.
Yeah, that's something that I want to talk to you guys about. I saw right before we came on that Carter County schools announced that they're stopping all extracurricular activities, including athletic practices. They're stopping it for about 2 weeks, which would lead them right into the start of their football season. How do you think that's going to impact their players? And is that something that you could see coming down for Elizabethton City schools as well?
I feel like it'll be tough. I mean, to be away from it for 2 weeks and come right back into it on a game week. So I feel like it definitely impact the game plan and everything that's going on. Just getting your mind mentally focused and all that. I'm not too worried. I don't think it's gonna happen to us. I hope it doesn't happen to us. But if it does, we just gotta be prepared and stay ready.
Yeah. How do you think you would be able to stay ready without being at practice, taking those hits and stuff like that? I know you could probably go into the backyard, link up with Bryson and run some routes, but as far as the contact, that's what you would really be missing.
Yeah. For sure. I feel like you wouldn't get used to, making tackles. It might be like when game time comes around, you might be a little sloppy as far as tackling goes, but I feel like if that happened, like offensively, you can, work around that, but you can't really go outside and tackle people. You know what I mean? Like you don't get that same thing you do as if you would in practice. So defense would definitely struggle.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel like it'd just be hard that all week leading into a game day, everything's about getting prepared for that, and then not being able to have that prior to a Friday. I feel like it make it a little more mentally difficult for you.
Yeah, and I was talking. I've talked about you, Braden, for years, and if you go through our episodes, you'll hear me mention you and Jackson throughout the year, and kind of talk about you guys. But something's changed. I've been the tallest in the family for 38 years. And I saw you just a few months ago, and you have now surpassed me as the new tallest of the family. I mean, what do you think these other teams are feeling when they see two giants on the outside? I mean, that's not normal for a high school team. You think it
Um,
puts a little fear in their heart?
yeah, I mean, I feel like it makes it more difficult for them to guard because not only do they have to worry about Parker being over there and then me being over there, and then not everybody has two tall corners, so it just makes it more difficult for them. More of a worry, I guess.
And also Bryson said that Braden had the hand. He was the hands possession receiver, and Parker was more of the take off. Nobody's going to catch me highlight receiver. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, Parker's definitely got to beat on speed. That's for sure.
But I mean, whenever you put you guys together, that's double trouble because, like you said, Braden, most teams aren't going to have two corners that are as tall as you guys or as fast as you guys. So it's a mismatch, pretty much every game for you guys. So it's clear to see why the Cyclones have had such a dominant offense for, last season and going into this year. Speaking of last season, of course, you guys won the state championship in what was your junior year, and now you're transitioning into being seniors. How did winning that championship pretty much a year before everybody expected you to be able to win that championship, how has that changed your mindset going into your senior year? And how has that helped with college scouts and other people finding you and being able to look at you and recruit you?
Well, when let's say like we won our junior year, so it's kind of like everybody's kind of expecting us to be like good this year. So it kind of puts a target on our back saying, everybody's wanting to beat us, and then college scouts are looking at that team because you won state. So, they're going to look at the best team. So they're looking at us like that. And as far as college scouts goes, it's really good, but it's also bad as far as like playing other teams because you got to bring in every game, and you can't have win game. Like we had a couple games last year where we didn't play like us, like we could. I mean, you got to bring in the game because everybody's giving their best shot at you no matter what. So that's definitely a look at.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just feel like it's more of a thing that you just got to be prepared that people are going to want to beat you and they're going to want to take you down after coming off something like that. You just got to stick with it. Hope for the best of your job. Try to do it again.
Do you guys think that your coaching staff has done a good job of preparing you for that target being on your back?
For sure. They try to preach a lot, like forget about last year. Last year was great, and we all want to live like last year. We got to, forget about that and focus on this year, focus on what we got to do to be able to win another one and also to get by like each week, play game by game, and just, get ready for that.
Yeah. One of our listeners commented in here and asked Braden if it's hard not seeing your brother on the sidelines with you. Does that make it more difficult to be focused?
Not really more difficult. I mean, it's weird because I played with him my whole life, so it's something different to go into now that he just won't be there. But no, I don't think it makes it any harder. It's just weird, to say the least. Definitely weird.
I see you're representing your brother. You got on the ETSU hat.
Oh, yeah.
And Jackson's starting things. So it's always been, there's a saying at Elizabethton, it's Holly to kick, Holly to hold. So Holly's holding, right? Who's kicking this year?
Right now it's toss up between Connor and Sean. So just whatever one of them. So they're just working right now, trying to beat each other out, make each other better. So I guess we'll see. Game night.
Good deal. I know either way, you're going to get the laces out and you're going to get it in the right spot.
Sir, let's go.
Let's see here. And let me ask y'all this. We asked this to every player. We've had so far. Actually, Brandon, I want you to you're the restaurant guy. I want you to do this question. Set it up correctly.
Well, okay. We kind of had a flop last week because what I wanted to try to pitch, Bryson said he wasn't even a fan of subs. So are you guys fan of the Blue Circle Deli there in Elizabethton?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Okay. So what's your go-to sandwich there whenever you walk in there? And do you call it Poor Travs or Blue Circle, or what do you guys know it as?
Definitely Blue Circle. So I've always caught it. Our family's caught it. And then I'm just a ham and cheese guy for me. That's a two-card. No card.
What about you, Parker?
I definitely like Cubs. I have Blue Circle.
Parker, you're kind of cutting out a little bit, bud.
Yeah, I think it's your headphones there.
Am I good now?
It's still staticky.
Yeah, it's still cracking.
I don't know what's going on with that one.
I think it's the headphones or the mic that you're talking through. Oh, you ain't got no headphones on, do you?
No, I don't. Is it better now?
No. Do you have any earphones that you can put in that have a mic?
I might.
It might help you out. We'll give you just a minute to look. It might help you out so they can hear you a little better.
Right.
And while he's looking, Braden, how exactly tall are you guys now? I know that I'm 6'3", so I know you're up there at least 6'3". How tall are you at the current moment?
To be honest with you, I'm not completely sure, but probably like 6'2", something like that, maybe 6'3". I think Parker's a little bit taller than me. Probably got like half an inch or an inch on me.
So wow, that's crazy. So you got 6'2", 6'3" coming on the edges. That's insane.
That's huge for high school kids. I remember when I was in high school, the biggest players on our team were barely 6 foot. So that's just huge. And whenever you're going against some of these smaller schools, I'm sure you guys dwarf them. I know in some of Parker's highlight videos, I saw that you guys played against Mitchell High School from North Carolina. That's actually where I went to high school, and you guys were just destroying them. No surprise, because they're a little 2A school in North Carolina, so it's not that big of a deal. But still, you guys just made them look like they were JV.
Yeah, it's definitely an advantage to have two wide receivers that are like over 6 foot. Definitely in the red zone, because is it better now?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay. All right, sweet. Yeah, definitely in the red zone, because like Braden said, there's corners usually aren't over 6 foot in high school. I mean, when you get to college level, you're going to see that. But in high school, like, they're really not that big usually. So, like, say you get in the red zone, you can throw a fade to Braden or you can throw it to me. You know what I mean? And usually one of us will have a mismatch. So that definitely works out really good.
Well, then you got my boy Cam Smith that's going to be coming back this year, and he's going to be a red zone target because he's another big receiver basically coming out of the backfield playing tight end. So we got to make sure that we spread the ball around to Cam Smith a little bit this year too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Brandon's got this thing for Cam Smith that we had the offensive line on, and they were pretty hard on Cam. We asked him who he played his, how am I trying to word this?
I asked him what NFL tight end he would say that he modeled his game after, how he tried to emulate and play like, and one of the linemen immediately said RG3. so I kind of feel bad for my guy.
So Brandon has been campaigning for him to get at least one touchdown this year, at least make it on the field so that he can say that he played his senior year.
Hey, freshman year, though, Cam was the only one that scored a touchdown.
Oh, there you go.
See, he didn't even tell us that part. He didn't.
Offensively, yeah.
He didn't brag about any of that. So
now the linemen also, whenever we had them on, they were still eating, and they had a whole large pizza and a crazy bread to themselves. Do you all eat like that?
I eat a lot, but I wouldn't say I eat as much as the linemen. I mean, they're just differently. They eat different. But
Braden, I think that the mic's issue is coming from you now, Braden. When I mute your mic, it comes through a lot clearer for everybody.
Hey, now can we hear you talk?
No, I've got his mic muted right now.
And we're going to get things
So,
working out. We just
yeah,
want to make sure that the best quality we can get for you guys.
When you do a live show like this, you have to have a little bit of technical difficulties here and there. It wouldn't be a typical show for us if we didn't. So it's all good. If you could just find some headphones or something, that would probably eliminate that issue.
Both of them have such long. Well, Parker's hair's not as bad. With Braden, I just assumed he had some on. You think that hair slows him down? Is that why you're faster than him right now?
Nah, dude. It's the flow bros.
Nah, if anything, it speeds them up.
Yeah, it's aerodynamics, man.
Yeah.
So we were talking earlier, Parker, about the target on your back, and when we had Deuce on a few weeks ago, that's one of the exact phrases that he said was, "We've got a target on our backs," and he's somebody that has experienced that as a wrestler, 2-time state champion. So he's defended a state championship, and how has he been able to put some of that wisdom out there and try to help you guys along with the idea that you're going to have all these eyes coming at you and
Right.
The target on your back, like you said?
Wrestling, it's a one-man show, really. You got coaches, but it's just you and the other guy out there on the mat. So it's really, when you got the target on your back, everybody's looking down at you. And Deuce is one of those guys, like I give him credit. He's one of those guys that can handle that, pressure. And he likes those situations, it seems like. And he's really a motivator and a competitor on the defensive side as a middle linebacker. And he gets everybody going, and he knows what he's doing. He knows his role, and he just helps out a lot with that.
Yeah. Now we were talking, Brandon kind of mentioned it, how the county schools are canceling everything due to COVID. That's kind of hard for you guys because unlike most schools, we start out with Science Hill every year. So you guys are immediately getting smacked in the mouth. One of the biggest battles you'll have all year is the first game of the season. Do you feel that what are y'all preparing for them already? I mean, have you started from day one? Did y'all start preparing for them, or has COVID kind of put kind of made it tough to prepare like you normally would, or are you guys ready to go for Science Hill here in a few weeks?
No, we've started preparing like as soon as we started practicing. That's really held us back. So
we start preparing for them like right whenever like football ends that season. That's when it don't stop really. But COVID has definitely like held us up as far as like 7-on-7 and like the timing with the quarterbacks and like that kind of stuff, like scrimmaging. That's definitely going to hurt because you're going into the game blind and you don't really know, what our best plays are, what we're going to run first. Like we usually scrimmage DB, and that kind of gives us an idea of like what's going on with our offense and defense. But without that, it's kind of going in there blind. We don't have film on Science Hill. So, we got last year's film, but it's a different team, So it's just that COVID has definitely messed things up, but there's always ways that, we can work around it. And we've been preparing, so I think we're ready.
You did say something in there, Parker. It's a completely different team. How many seniors did the Science Hill team have graduate last year? Do you have any idea?
I don't know the exact number, but I know there was a few like good ones that definitely graduated.
Whereas you guys only had a handful of seniors graduate from your team. So for the most part, you are the same team that you played that was playing last year. So they have a good amount of film on all of you guys. Right. So that could be a disadvantage to you guys in the going forward. So how do you think you can reinvent yourselves and be able to keep up with, fooling people and being a more dynamic team? Or do you think that you were just so much better than everybody that the same formula is going to work?
It just depends really. When we go out there, the first game, we're going to, get a good look. Like last year, we ran the ball more than we threw it, which really like during the season, we ran it a lot, but like we threw the ball a ton, like during the season. And like Science Hill really didn't get, like when we played them, they didn't get film like of us throwing the ball. So I think, I play wide receiver, but I think we can definitely throw the ball on them this year more just because I know what kind of their DBs look like. And, I know what our offensive line can do, which everybody's coming back. So it's going to give Bryson way more time, which last year he didn't have more time. as he does this year. So I think definitely throwing the ball would definitely help, but we got to, keep him guessing because say they do double team me and Braden or what, vice versa or whatever, run the ball, we could definitely fool him with that. So same formula always works, but we'll see.
And last week, Bryson told us that Coach Witten's favorite play is that quarterback draw up the middle. So that's definitely a run play that he likes to run, and it looked like you guys ran with a lot of success. So when that happens, you guys have to turn into downfield blockers. Is that something where you guys use your size and your strength to your advantage?
Yeah, definitely. That's something we've been working on a lot lately, just getting used to that blocking downfield for the running backs and stuff. So, yeah, I think that size definitely helps, but, yeah, for sure.
And, y'all were talking earlier about the corners. Not many high schools have them your size. I'm a Falcons fan, and I know we just selected A.J. Terrell from Clemson. He's only like 6'1", and a lot of these first-round draft picks coming out of college are 6'1", 6'2". I mean, there's not very many your size. Is there a chance that either of y'all would go to college to play that position, or is wide receiver the position that you're most interested in?
As far as I go, I'll play defense and not just wide receiver. I would like to play wide receiver, but defense definitely whatever gives me a chance to get on the field. As far as college goes, I'll play wherever.
Yeah, I understand. Like same thing you said, but I didn't play a lot of corner last year. I was more of a receiver. So yeah, if I got to pick, I'd definitely pick wide receiver.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Being on the offensive side of the ball definitely seems a lot more sexy, a lot more attractive. I mean, you're out there scoring touchdowns. That's what it's all about, right? That's how you win games. Now, Bryson said something last week about how he was unsure about if he was going to go on and play basketball because he wanted to focus more on football. And he said something about you, Parker. He said that you and him were kind of discussing it a lot together. Is that something you've decided on, if you're just going to focus strictly on football, or are you going to try to do multiple sports this year?
I've not made up my mind 100% yet, but no, me and Bryson definitely have been talking about it, and we've been discussing it, and we're not sure completely yet, but yeah, that's definitely been a conversation we've been talking about.
Just know you hold his decision on your shoulders. He said that if you decide to play, he was game, and if you didn't, he wasn't.
Yeah, that's what he told me. I don't know why he left it up to me, but
you're older. You're the big brother.
I guess so.
What about you, Braden? You playing any other sports this season, or are you strictly football?
Oh yeah, I play soccer too.
And I know you're going to have to actually help. Marley starting this year. Her middle school basketball coach said they only had 13 kids and begged her to play soccer. She hasn't played soccer since she was 5. So, big cousin's going to have to come through and maybe give a little tips down the road, because she has no clue what she's doing. It's absolutely pathetic, but it is what it is, I guess. Which sport do you like better?
I mean, I love football, but I love soccer, so I couldn't really pick a favorite, but yeah, I like them both about the same.
See, I know our family's always been, besides your dad, we've always been on the bigger side, so a running sport like soccer was really never part of our family plan until you guys came along. So it's definitely interesting to see you guys play, and I know y'all are they're both great soccer players, just as they are as football players. So
what position do you play in soccer?
Well, my whole life I always played midfield and striker, but when I got to high school, they needed a center defender, so I played that my freshman year, and then I've just played it ever since.
Okay. All right, so you play on the defensive side of the ball, helping out your goalkeeper, trying not to let the ball get through. That's, an important part of the job. I played soccer in high school myself, so I kind of was familiar a little bit with that stuff.
Sure.
I was just a kicker on the football team. I didn't really get to go out and do all the flashy stuff that you guys are doing.
Hey, look at his brother. He was a kicker. Now he's playing for ETSU. Them kickers, man, nowadays, that's the best position. You get paid to play, get scholarships, and you don't have to take the beating that, these two take every time they catch a ball. So I don't blame him a bit.
I wish I would have actually pursued kicking in college a little bit more, because I could have gone on to be a punter or something like that and got paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to kick a ball in the NFL, and then had a life like Pat McAfee and, be set. 33 years old, you're retired from the NFL and you've got millions in the bank. That's a pretty good life to have.
That's what it is.
Let's see, Allison commented in here, and she was asking, I think it was about the Science Hill game. If you guys don't get to play them for the opening game of the season for, COVID or whatever happens, how big of a disappointment is that going to be to the team?
I think it'll be a huge disappointment, just because that's kind of our goal each year is, we look to that game kind of as it's just a big game, gets us pumped up for the first game of the season. It's already crazy because it's the first game, but also because it's Science Hill and they're a bigger school than us. We just always want to beat them. It's always been a rival. So I think if we don't play that game, it won't really hurt us, but it won't give us that, say we do win, it won't give us that confidence coming into the season, after the first game that we would have if we did beat them.
Yeah, I definitely think it'd be a letdown for everybody. But last year we won the Science Hill game, and it was we won it back to back, and I definitely think that was the main factor that fueled us for the rest of the year. So we know we're this good, so let's keep playing like that.
Well, and it's definitely bragging rights for those that are watching that aren't familiar with the local area. Elizabethton and Science Hill are separated by 15, 20 miles at that. Not even that probably. And everybody knows, oh, you're Science Hill, oh, you're Elizabethton. And it's kind of like a rival. And even though you're not in the same conference, like you said, they're a bigger school. They're what, a 6A?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, that's huge. And you guys are 4A, right?
Yes, sir.
You got to remember, Elizabethton's technically a
2A. Yeah. But you play in 4A because you're more dominant or whatever. But I mean, that just tells you how big of a school Science Hill is compared to Elizabethton. And for you guys to go out there back-to-back years and to be able to beat them and hopefully go for the three-peat this year, that's huge. And, I could see how that could definitely give you that momentum early on so that you could go on to, win a state championship or just be competitive. Now, you had to get through another school that's also one of the local schools that's a rival in Greenville, and you had to beat them twice last year. Mm-hmm. So I know that they've already had to shut down their football operations because of COVID testing and stuff like that. They had a little outbreak at their school. How do you think that's going to impact them going into their season? And is that going to make them a little bit more vulnerable when they have to come up and play somebody like you guys?
I think it'll definitely won't have them as ready, prepared, I guess, for us, because I think we're a really good team at staying prepared for anything that it's thrown at us. So I feel like it definitely gives us a little bit of an upper hand, but at the same time, you just gotta play football and not think about the stuff like that.
That's fair. Mm-hmm. So speaking of just not thinking of stuff like that, whenever you guys aren't playing football, what are some things that you enjoy doing? Do you like to play video games? Do you skateboard? What are your other extracurricular hobbies that you guys like?
Not playing basketball. Other than that, I like to play a couple pickup games. Some of our friends get together and play pickup sometimes. But I ride dirt bikes. I have interest in that. I like to throw. Me and Bryson throw all the time. Braden, he joins too. Other than that, it's really school and eating. That's about it. Working out. We work out a lot. We always doing that. I mean, every morning. This week we've worked out. We're off tomorrow morning, but other than working out, that's about it.
What about you, Braden?
I mean, yeah, I play video games here and there, but really just same thing. It's I like to do hang out with my friends and hang out with my girlfriend, do stuff like that. Just go out, get out of the house. I hate sitting at the house and doing nothing. It bores me to heck. I can't stand it. Right.
No, I understand that completely. And, with 2020, the way that it's been, that's pretty much all anybody's been able to do is just sit at the house. We've asked pretty much everybody, who is the best person at video games on the team? If you had to pick, who would you say is the best gamer on the
Like
entire team?
what kind of game we talking about? Just like
Like
in general?
Let's say Warzone.
Yeah, Call of Duty.
Deuce can play some Call of Duty. He's always
See,
been able to play Call of Duty.
Ladarian's good too, though. I
Ladarian
think.
is good too. Yeah.
We've heard Ladarian come a lot, but Deuce swears that he's terrible. When we asked him, he said, "I'm no good at video games."
He's like, definitely not me, guys. Definitely not me.
I think he just, I don't know. Maybe he just said that.
He's being humble.
It's funny.
Yeah, maybe he's just trying to be humble.
Yeah, no, I've been playing video games with him for a while. He's always been pretty solid.
We're finding out more about Deuce from the other guys than we found out from Deuce.
Yeah, Deuce.
That's
And that's all you guys. Every kid that we've talked to at Elizabethton has been so humble. Nobody's really been cocky or arrogant, every one of you kind of hold the same demeanor. And we appreciate you guys coming on. I know that whenever you're such a good kid, that makes everybody else get behind you even more, because nobody's going to want to cheer for those arrogant, cocky kids that win all the time. And we haven't seen that from any of you guys yet. But let me ask you this. Y'all won the state title. We didn't mention this earlier. What's it been like around town for you guys? Like, you get recognized, whenever growing up as a kid, you idolized those high school football players. And now you're those guys that are getting idolized, but you did something they never did. You won a state title. So how is it around town? Like, how do they treat you now?
Did Braden go away? Or?
Yeah, he dropped out or whatever. He froze and then it dropped him out.
He'll come back in here in just a second.
Yeah, definitely. Like, ever since we won state, things have definitely been different around town. As far as like you walk in, like actually this morning I walked into Bojangles, me, Bryson, and who else was it? Ladarian walked into Bojangles, and we got something to eat, and then it was like, it's the football team. They're gonna be drinking water because they don't have water like now where it's like COVID or whatever. You can't fill up your cup by yourself, so you gotta tell them. And it's like you get a meal, and it usually comes with a drink, but you gotta tell them like you just want a water. And I don't know. And they said something about like state and congrats and all that. So you definitely get recognized more, and that's definitely, we appreciate that, when people recognize us, because it just makes you feel good,
Does it feel kind of like a varsity blues type town now?
Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah, it really does.
To that point, Parker, I live in Florida now, and I only come to visit, every so often. And when I was in town, I was with my dad at church, and he was pointing out, he's like, "Yep, that guy over there, he's on the football team. That guy's on the football team." And he goes to Southside, so the preacher there is the chaplain of the team. So they're very, very much into the whole Elizabethton Cyclones and everything that you guys have done.
Oh yeah.
So what about you, Braden? You feel kind of like a little celebrity in town with Elizabethton being such a small place, and you guys winning the state title?
Yeah, it's definitely weird. I mean, I wouldn't say so much a celebrity, but I feel like when you go places and people know you play football, and people knows like what happens, like what goes on with us and football team, and yeah, I mean, it's cool to like hear people like recognize you and stuff, but I wouldn't say so much a celebrity, I guess.
Let's see, we got a commenter coming in saying that they're deciding Monday for Johnson City schools, I guess, what they're going to do in the future. So this coming Monday is going to be a pretty big day in terms of what's going to happen for the season. And, I know everyone's holding their breath, hoping that we get to play this season, because if not, as seniors, this could be it as far as your high school careers. And that really sucks, man. Like, I've been thinking about it for a while now. When all this COVID stuff started, I was like, man, the people that are really getting screwed here are the seniors that are playing, high school baseball, running high school track, stuff like that. Those people are the ones that were really impacted at first. And then, we eventually saw that one of your not really classmates, but schoolmates, Evan Carter, he ended up getting drafted in the major leagues because of his junior season. So it might have actually worked out in his favor. But for you football guys, I would hate to be competing against, all the other seniors out there and only have 3 years worth of tape to work on. But, hopefully you guys get to have that season in, and hopefully it's not going to get canceled or delayed. You got people coming in here saying that the defense is the best over here. So,
Lamar.
Yeah.
Lamar, and we plan on getting the defense on now. I know that you got Trent Taylor. We kind of talked about him. He's a big old boy. And the defense came through huge against Greenville. There was a couple where they had, a 2-yard stand on 4th down?
Yeah, it was like goal line.
Right on the goal line. So we need to get the defense on here. I think last year they were a big part of y'all's championship run. And
yeah.
So who do you think's better? Lamar saying the D is the best. Is it offense or defense?
I mean, I'm glad that, we're all on the same team, and that just makes us even more better. But, if I really have to say, I'd say last year our defense was probably more, a little bit better than our offense. Just because, I don't know, we were a little young. But I'd say this year, I play both sides, so nobody get mad at me. I'd say it's the offense. Just 'cause,
man, Parker's going to get beat up at practice tomorrow.
What about you, Braden? Defense or offense?
Something that Parker said, definitely last year, they definitely went to the defense. Like, they knew their stuff. They were solid. But I think this year, we're a little more, we didn't lose as many people on the offensive side. I think we're a little more, prepared, I guess, for the season. We're both really good. I mean, that defense is really solid, too.
Yeah. But this year, we lost, we lost an outside linebacker, Jordan Haynes. We lost, 4 really great D linemen that were, I think 2 of them were all-state. So, I mean, that definitely shows, we lost some players on defense. So, guys got to step up.
Having that kind of defense makes you guys even more dominant because you're going against a defense in practice that's better than probably any team that you're going to play.
Right.
So that's a blessing. So regardless of who's better, they're just as lucky as you guys to go against each other.
Yeah.
Now, y'all have any questions? Y'all have anything y'all want to say, shout out wise, or?
Right.
If I can real quick, Brandon, I do want to give a shout out to my cousin, Jason Holly. If you go out and vote right now in Elizabethton, write him in for municipal judge. It's going on right now. He'll be a fantastic one. So if you go out and vote, write Jason Holly in and give him a vote. You got anything else, Brandon?
No, I just want to thank you guys for coming on and being part of the show. Definitely good luck this coming season. Hopefully you'll get to play, and hopefully the state's not going to shut everything down. To everybody listening, we appreciate all of you guys watching and commenting along and following along with the progress of these young men that we've had on here. They're all going to go on to bigger and better things once they leave Elizabethton High School and they go off to the respective colleges that recruit them. So getting to know them a little bit has been an awesome opportunity and an awesome experience for us. And we're just glad that we've been able to share that with so many people there in town that might not otherwise get to know you guys face to face. They just know a jersey number, So thank you guys for coming on. Thanks to everybody for listening. Please tune in Monday night. That's whenever we record our normal show where we talk about everything that's going on in MLB, NFL, NBA, you name it. And we'll be back Monday night ready to drop another live episode. See you then. Peace.
I'll say this.